this is interesting. Athletes are testing the meaning of the word employee. As college football practice gets underway, the National Labor Relations Board is set to rule as early as this week whether college football players are actually employees in a way who can unionize and get paid. Should student athletes get compensated for a piece of the huge revenue pie they help bring in? Joining me now, Leigh Steinberg, founder at Steinberg Sports and Entertainment. He's spent more than 40 years representing athletes, a lot of NFL players, along with former NFL lineman Jarvis Green. Jarvis played at the college level with LSU and was drafted in 2002 by the New England Patriots. Welcome to you both. Leigh, where do you stand on this? Should these guys be allowed to unionize?
I think they fit the definition of employees. They spend as many as 50 hours a week during the regular season in football-related or sports-related activities. In training camp, a football player will spend 60 hours a week. And the countless athletes I've talked to talk about how excruciatingly difficult it is to actually be a student. Then they have off-season training programs. So I think they fit the definition. This only applies to private schools under the NLRB.
Right.
And some states don't even allow collective bargaining. I think the problem they'll have is that putting a unit together, getting consensus among all those players is difficult. And then once you are a union, you have to have the ability to threaten or carry out a strike.
Right, well, exactly.
And the history of 17 through 21-year-olds being able to stick together on any issue against the university is not very good.
Jarvis, when you were at LSU, obviously a state school, but would you have really related to getting a little bit of money? You got some money, right? Just for, I guess, basic payments, but it was not enough to help you?
Yes, I mean, as far as the payments, we got the Pell Grant, and that was very minimum. I mean, as far as you trying to find an apartment off campus, you have utilities, bills. If you have a car, you have to pay as far as your insurance, your gas, you had the car notes. So, like, for me, when I played at LSU, I had a summer job, and I was working 40 hours a week, but I still had summer school. I still had to go practice every day in the hot sun, and then from that, you still don't have enough. So I think every player now is in the same situation that, I mean, like you said, you're going out there, you're playing the game, you're making so much money for these universities, but still you get peanuts just to live and survive.
Oh, well, you can imagine. Can you imagine how much money comes into Alabama?
Oh,
or
my goodness, yes.
You know, a lot of the Ivy Leagues, they want their football teams to do well. USC, forget about it. I mean, growing up, that was the huge school when it came to that. But, Leigh, people on the other side would argue these guys are mostly getting their tuition paid. Isn't that enough?
So compare what they live like to non-athletes. If a student comes from a disadvantaged background who's a student athlete, they have a very hard time living on scholarship. They look at the non-athletes and they're getting allowances where many of these kids are having problems paying rent, they're having problems flying home for Thanksgiving, they're having difficulties affording clothes or a car, and they're struggling. They're not allowed to have jobs. Their schedule doesn't even allow
that.
it.
Right.
So the point is they don't even have the opportunity to work, and they go and play in huge stadia, and they realize that there are 90,000 people there, that there are massive television contracts. They see their jersey sold in the student store with their number on it, and they don't share from that. Now, actually, the top 65 top 65 universities have been granted the ability to give stipends now. So some schools are giving players as much as $4,000, which does make a difference. But the student athlete is resentful.
And Jarvis, you know, some video game companies were using players' likenesses, college players' likenesses, and they didn't even get remunerated until there was a lawsuit.
Yes, I mean, that's the same thing. And we would love to see the amount of sales that they're making off the video games. I remember when I was in college, they're playing the NCAA football game, and you're right, it's tremendous. And again, with the universities, you go on different campuses, myself being LSU, So we on campus all the time doing types of construction work, but when you see the campus, you see boom cranes everywhere. You see universities, paying for this, paying for that. But then the guys, again, yeah, you might get a stipend, $4,000, that's great. But back then when I played and the other guys played the last 10 to 15 years, it's just not enough.
Yeah, but, okay, let me do the yeah, but, which is annoying. But, Leigh, people are going to say, these guys are whiners. They get the best opportunities. Listen, I'm on your side, actually, Jarvis, because I covered Ohio State extensively when I was in Columbus at Action 6 News. But I saw how those kids were working their tails off. And Robert Smith was the famed Mr. Football who wanted to go to medical school. He had no time to study, and he complained about that. But, Leigh, people will say, oh, quit your whining. You get the heroics, and then you get a big NFL contract on balance afterward.
Well, the truth is that very few players get a big pro contract. The mass of players, that's the end for them. So they have to struggle. If they come from disadvantaged homes, they have to struggle. And the reality of the situation is many of those students wouldn't even want to be on campus. They're forced to be there because the professional leagues won't admit them. So you have people that are just on campus to get to the pros, and they have very resentful feelings.
Well, that wasn't your problem, Jarvis. You had 8 seasons with the Patriots. How many rings? 3?
2.
2? Do you still wear them right now?
No, I don't.
Good, because I'm a Browns fan. Okay.
Oh, that's a tough one, Liz. That's very tough.
I know.
Oh, you poor thing.
I know. Mea culpa. Listen, great to see you both. Thank you. Both in a Fox Business exclusive. Leigh Steinberg, superstar agent, along with Jarvis Green, Patriots defensive end and LSU grad. Thanks so much.